Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with? That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're an Oreo cookie. White on the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro. I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Jesse Lee Peterson is here. This is the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I absolutely appreciate it. Taking your phone calls at 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. I have with me Juan Escalante. He is an illegal alien student and recent graduate of Florida State University. He is a core member of DreamActivist.org and founder of DreamActivistFlorida.org, online organization that provide resources for illegal alien students across the country. And they are having what they call the National Coming Out of the Shadow Day. This is for illegal aliens this coming Saturday, March 10th. And Juan is here to talk to us about this. Juan, good morning. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
What is a National Coming Out of the Shadow Day for illegal aliens? What does that mean?
Well, coming out of the Shadow Day is usually an event that we promote and host across the nation, encouraging students to come out of the shadows and reveal their status as undocumented. What we tell individuals is that it's usually safer for them to be out and about regarding their undocumented status, so that should they run into any trouble, specifically students, we're able to provide any sort of legal assistance or any sort of help that we can cover them with. I
like that idea, because if they come out and reveal that they're illegal aliens, they can be shipped back across the borders, right?
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't think that's the point of the action. But at the end of the day, we've done a lot of good with this type of actions that we continue to promote. People to come out. And at the end of the day, we have won several cases of individuals who have been detained by ICE and other authorities and have gotten some sort of reprieve at the end of the day.
I love this idea. Bring them out of the closet, send them back home, and that way we can kind of clean up what's happening in America. Are you an illegal alien?
I'm undocumented, yes.
Okay, so you and your family, your parents came through the front door, right?
Yep.
And what happened once you got here?
We had ill advice from a lawyer that we employed. So usually when you set up these legal matters, you employ a professional and you entrust, your whole life to that person.
Right.
And at the end of the day, this is what happens.
Why are they allowing you and your folks to stay here? Why haven't they sent you back knowing that you're illegal?
I mean, at the end of the day, we do our right. We pay our taxes. We continue to, fund Social Security that we are not ever going to be able to claim. So do you think that people like me should be sent back even though we're doing the right thing in this country?
If you're here illegally, yes, you should be sent back. I don't care that you're coming here working or going to school. That doesn't make any sense to me. You're saying you can break the law and get a job and everything should be fine. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but I mean, what you're saying is that even people who come here legally and fall trapped to the broken immigration system, right?
But it sounds like you had a faulty lawyer, and so that's not the country's fault. It's not the USA fault that you had a lawyer that took advantage of your money.
But it's not going to be any solution that I paid $1,000, came here the legal way and took the legal route, and still at the end of the day, even though I established and consider this country my home, the country that I fight so hard for to make sure that people understand and I adopt as their home. That's disregarded, correct?
When you say that the system is broken, we have illegal aliens coming across the border by the droves, day in and day out.
By the droves.
And the system is not sending them back to where they came from. Are you saying that's how the system is broken, that it will not ship all these people back home?
I think that some of the remarks that you're stating are kind of misguided and probably ill-conceived, just because at the end of the day, if you look at the recent research that has been published, illegal immigration has declined by the droves, just using the same terminology.
Yeah, I heard that it gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
But let me ask, are you saying the system is broken because they're allowing these illegals to come in and not send them back home? Is that how it's broken?
No, the system is broken because people like me or people who come here and do the right thing, right? Even though that you do everything that people like you want us to do, at the end of the day, it still doesn't cooperate.
I don't want you to do.
you.
I don't want you to do anything but go back where you came from. I don't want you to be here working or going to school.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you want me to? Yeah, I mean, I don't have a high school degree.
Hold on, Juan. Hold on for me, Juan. Let me take a break. Back in a moment. Okay, welcome back. 888-775-3773 is the call-in number. You want to get involved with this discussion. Juan, you guys have a march coming up this Saturday, right?
Yeah, correct. There's events all over the nation.
Are you concerned at all that these illegals will be arrested and deported if they should come out of the closet this Saturday?
I don't think so.
Why
I think
not?
that,
What has happened in America that criminals can come out of the closet and say, hey, I'm here and I'm in your face?
Again, if you look back at the research, is that Department of Homeland Security, specifically Immigration Customs Enforcement, is currently pursuing dangerous criminals, and I don't think I fit that category.
So does it make sense to you as a person that these people can come out and say, I'm here illegally and they should get away with it? Does it make sense to you?
I mean, I think doesn't make sense to you for people who have invested their lives and have benefited from, No,
you're avoiding the question. I said, does it make sense to you as a person that these people could break the law, come into our country, and then get in your face and say, hey, I am here illegally and you can't do anything about it? Does that make sense to you?
I think it's... Just to kind of give you like a brief perspective on the whole thing is the fact that, whenever someone comes out of some document, it's a very powerful statement for people to come, because at the end of the day, it breaks barriers of fear that have been given to these individuals for years.
But if you have broken the law, shouldn't you be afraid?
But again, we go back to the same conversation. What about people who didn't break the law?
We're not talking about those folks. We're talking about the ones who broke the law by coming across the borders illegally.
Again, but I mean, you fail to understand. Let's get it really down to basics so we can make sure that the conversation is flowing, correctly. Did I break the law if I came here legally?
Did you break the law if you came here legally?
Yeah.
No, that's a dumb question. You didn't break the law if you came legally. I'm talking about illegal people.
Well, that's me. I'm undocumented, but I came here the legal way. Now,
but your situation is an unusual circumstance. We're talking about these illegals
a couple minutes ago,
who are coming across the borders. We're talking about illegal. Hold on, Juan. We're talking about illegal aliens who are coming across the borders by the drove.
Yeah.
And
they're not coming by the droves. Let's make sure we get that cleared up. They're not coming here by the droves.
Does it bother you that by these illegal aliens coming across the borders, they're taking jobs and housing and education and health care from blacks who have been here, who were born here? Does that bother you at all? Do you care about it, that it's hurting black Americans?
You can see that the African-American community has actually come out in support of people like us.
No, I ask you, you're talking about the godless leaders, so-called leaders. I'm talking about the real folks. Does it bother you
that's
that blacks...
people, have spoken out in the civil rights movement. We have...
I don't care about them. They're not worth anything. But let me ask, does it bother you that these illegals are taking jobs and houses and health care and things like that from the black citizens of this great nation? Does that bother you?
I've just given you my answer. I don't think that, a yes or no circumstances, without you looking into the actual statements of other individuals that have contributed to the history of the country.
So you're not going to answer that question? Whether you care about the blacks?
Of course I do. I'm telling you that the African
Let me take a quick break. Hold on, Juan. We'll come back to you. Man, this is amazing. Only in America. Back in a moment. Do you support the DREAM Act? It would pay for illegal alien children to go to colleges and universities in the state of California. Do you support the DREAM Act?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the state, including California, Illinois, Maryland, New York, is considering their own state version of the DREAM Act. I think states like this, are taking and ensuring that people who have gone through high school and have been funded by the public education system can continue their education in the United States.
It's interesting in that California is broke, and the governor signed the DREAM Act to pay for illegal aliens' children to go to college here, schools here around, universities around the state. And then they're raising tuitions for the citizens to have to pay more money. Does that sound fair to you?
I think that
they have to pay more money for education.
I think that the state of California and the Board of
Does that
Governors,
sound fair to you?
The Board of Regents have to reanalyze their priorities when making cuts to higher education overall as a whole. I think that using undocumented students who have benefited from the taxpayers' money through high school and scapegoating them just to, make sure that you put the blame of higher tuition may be a misguided statement.
So are you saying, yes, Jesse, it makes sense to me that California is broke, but yet California should have to pay for illegal alien students to go to school, while the students who are here legally you have to increase their expense?
Again, my statement is that I support the DREAM Act, one, and two, I believe that people who have benefited from taxpayer money that has been invested into these children, you would rather see them deported, but why would you tell the taxpayers, like, we already invested, thousands of dollars into this individual, we're going to deport them.
So you're not going to answer my question. I would say to the taxpayer, well, since we've spent our money on these illegals, we still should ship them back home, and now that they've been educated, maybe they can build up their own country.
Yeah, well,
doesn't that sound nice?
I mean, I guess in a perfect world, where NAFTA doesn't, weigh on Mexico, if that's the country that you're referring to, when it comes to the border.
I'm talking about any country that they came here from illegally. Did you say earlier that the NAACP and those groups are supporting you as well? Mm-hmm. Are you surprised that you're getting this support for criminals?
I mean, I think that supporting your fellow citizens
they're not citizens. They're not citizens.
Your fellow citizens.
They're illegal aliens, man. They're not citizens.
If you let me finish my statement, perhaps we can have a civilized conversation. But I guess that's not what
You're not answering the question. I said, are you surprised?
Your fellow citizens are your fellow men. I'm a man just like you. I came here the legal way, but you continue to accuse me of being an illegal immigrant.
You talk about in the few minutes we have left here. You talk about the investment that illegals make in this country. But the fact is that they come here, we take care of them. They get free housing, free health care, free education, free food stamps. We take care of them. They're not making an investment. We're making an investment on criminals. How are they making an investment if everything is free?
I mean, if you look at let's talk about Social Security for a second. I mean, what about Social Security? That hundreds of thousands of people contribute and make sure that they're not able to claim because that Social Security number may belong to someone else. Now, I'm not going to
illegals don't pay taxes.
They don't. So I guess my tax contributions, go nowhere.
You keep mentioning yourself, but we're talking about illegals that are coming across the border.
Just like me, because, I mean, you have put me in that box.
No, you put yourself there.
No. Please.
Hold on, Juan. Let me do one final break here, man. What is America coming to? Juan, how are illegal aliens contributing to Social Security? How are they doing that?
They contribute by paying into the fund.
But if they're illegal aliens and they're working under an assumed name, they don't have a Social Security number, do they?
Or maybe they do. I mean,
how would they get a Social Security number if they're here illegally?
Unfortunately, some people find their ways into the system, and at the end of the day, they do pay their taxes out.
Did you say that people's identity they use someone else's Social Security number? Are they stealing other people's Social Security numbers?
Again, I can't speak for experiences that I haven't had.
But you did say that that's happening, though, right? That these illegals are stealing other people's Social Security numbers.
I wouldn't say that they're stealing them. I may say that the Social Security system.
What would you call it? Are they borrowing someone else's Social Security number?
I'm not. The thing is that, while I'm not making, anything out of thin air.
Here's what I would suggest to all of the American citizens. You should call ICE and tell them about these marches that these illegal aliens are having and insist that ICE go and arrest these people for deportation. Isn't that a good idea? Juan?
I mean, in the years that I've been doing this, we have done civil disobedience actions, including, arrests and everything, including the Office of the
And we all should call ICE and tell them to go to these marches and arrest these illegals.
They're welcome to join us.
Well, Juan, thank you, man. It's amazing to see that you're in a great country, and the best you could do for your country is break the law. I appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Have a good one.
This has been the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show, produced by Bond Action. To access the full version of this show, visit us on the web at bondaction.org.